Hello everyone. Today we will be going to discuss block 17, that is frictional force LP2, more or less friction. So here our aim is to describe the factors on which frictional force depends. What we need to describe here? The factors on which frictional force depend. The resources that we will need are towel, thermocol sheet and spring balance and 1 kilogram weight. And keyword used are smooth and rough. Smooth is something soft or plain to touch and feel. And rough means something that is not smooth to touch. Okay, let's start with the activity. Let's keep the pencil box on a clean table and slide it with the spring balance. Note the reading of frictional force shown on the spring balance. Step second, now we will repeat the activity by keeping pencil box on a towel and on a thermocol sheet. Now again note the reading. What we found that on table, that is the smooth surface. Towel surface is rough. Thermocol sheet also surface is rough. And reading on the table is 1.75, on towel is 3 units and thermocol sheet is 2 unit. What we are seeing over there, that reading is less in case of smooth surface. Now do this activity by attaching 1 kilogram of weight to the pencil box. Then what we will observe that the surface of the table is again smooth, towel is rough and thermocol sheet is again rough. Reading is less in case of smooth surface as compared to rough one. So let's discuss about the activity. On which surface was the frictional force maximum and minimum in the two activities and why? The frictional force was maximum on towel and minimum on the clean table, because the frictional force depend upon the hardness and smoothness of surface. Harder the surface, more will be the friction. Smooth the surface, less will be the friction. So in table, the table is smooth, that's why friction is less over there. And on increasing the weight on an object, for example where we tied the 1 kg weight to the pencil box, then more the weight, more the friction. Next comes to be general discussion. How does the nature of two surfaces or a weight of an object affect the friction? As I told you that friction depend upon the hardness and smoothness of the two surfaces which are in contact with each other. If surface is smooth, the friction is less. If surface is rough, then friction is more, means it is not able to move in a proper way in case of more friction. Secondly, frictional force also depend upon the weight of the object. More the weight, more will be the friction, and it will not be able to move easily. So what we have discussed, factors affecting friction are nature of surfaces, weight of the object. What we discussed about the nature of surfaces, a rough surface have more friction, smooth surfaces have less friction. And heavy objects having more friction, lighter objects having less friction. So give me the answer of this question. Why it is difficult to run a car on a sand? So the right answer is, it is difficult to run a car on a sand because sand is the rough surface. And in rough case, there is a more friction. And more friction do not allow the car to move in a proper way. Now we will be going to discuss about the practice questions. First is, write true or false. A rocky floor offers more friction as compared to muddy road. So guess the answer. The answer is true. Answer is true. That in a rocky floor there is a more friction as compared to muddy road. Second, it is difficult to walk on a snow as it offers more friction. False. Clearly false. Why? If there is a more friction, then we will not be able to walk. But question is saying that it is difficult to walk on a snow as it offers more friction. So answer is false. Why it is easier to drag on a mat on the floor when nobody is sitting on it, but much more difficult to drag the same mat when a person is sitting on it? So the answer is, we have discussed that more the weight, more will be the friction, and it will be difficult to drag it. Similar is the case over there. When nobody is sitting on the mat, the no weight is on it, we can easily drag it. But when some person is sitting on it, means weight is it is having the more weight, and more weight means more friction. It will lead to the difficulty to dragging when one person is sitting on the mat. Third question is, some soapy water was spilled on a marble floor. Would it make it easier or difficult to walk on a floor, and why? As we spill the soapy solution on the floor, it will make the surface smooth. And we know that in the smooth surface there is a less friction. And less friction means we can walk on it and we can also fall down. So it would be difficult to walk because soapy water has reduced the friction on the marble floor. And when the friction is less, very less, then it would be difficult to walk on the floor. Thank you.